What's going on, guys? I'm with Moose, and today I'm back on MLB 17, the show Diamond Dynasty, and I know a few of you guys yesterday suggested that I do a little team update type video, and that's exactly what we're going to do here today. Now, first up, real quick, want to mention that you definitely want to get these time-limited missions every single day, a free pack for the next 10 days. Obviously, it started yesterday, so you have 9 chances left. If you missed it yesterday, or even if you got it, you can still get another one, which is pretty nice. So you can get up to 10 packs for that just for free by logging in basically every single day. Definitely worth it. Especially if you're not going to be playing Madden like a lot of people are very, very soon. So without further ado, let's get right into it and kind of see what my team's doing right now. Now, this is definitely a fluid situation. My team changes all the time. Actually, we'll go back to that screen real quick. Team changes all the time. You guys can see who's in my lineup right now. Highlights obviously include Mike Trout, definitely my best player, Miguel Cabrera, Cal Ripken Jr., Chase Utley, and so on. I mean, a lot of good players. But like I said, changes all the time. Now, something I do want to mention right here real quick is why is my starting rotation basically Ryan Guidry, Votto Blue, Scherzer, Keuchel, and Jim Palmer when I have guys like Bob Feller, Felix Hernandez, Chris Sale, Adam Wainwright. They're not in there at all. Corey Kluber, also an absolute beast, might add. But obviously none of those guys are in here, and I have Jim Palmer, who's only a 90, clearly worse than a handful of my starters. And the reason is because I'm trying to get the Joe Random missions, or the more specifically the Pepe Alazar missions, completed. Now, if we back out of my team real quick, just a quick detour, go over missions and all the way over to player epics, you guys will see what I need to do for it. I'm on the third one, and that is to get a bunch of stats with these players, with the hardware players that you guys saw in my starting rotation, specifically hardware starting pitchers. You need to get wins, strikeouts, complete game shutouts, and innings pitched. So definitely something I'm trying to get done. Obviously, a ton of stats I need to do, and they have to all be in online games, which makes it kind of difficult, especially those complete game shutouts. That's kind of tough. You guys can see I have a few stats there because I made a guy quit in the first game I played with him. Now, if you guys were curious, the first 2 missions for this, the first one that you guys can see with the check mark there is actually to use the Joe Random, which is a 50 overall player, or 55 overall, whatever, and you have to get 10 hits with him online and 25 putouts. That's pretty easy to do. The putouts are extremely easy. You just put him at first base, and he gets a ton of putouts every single game. And then the second challenge is actually very easy. You have to use the 94 overall Lou Brock, and basically you have to get 2 hits, 2 runs, a home run, 3 RBIs, and a steal in one game. But you can actually do that in a versus computer game. So I would just put it on rookie, make it really easy. As long as you hit the home run, which is probably the toughest part with Lou Brock, you'll pretty much get everything else done. He's a great hitter as long as you hit that home run. So that's why my rotation is the way it is, and of course my team will change if I get that challenge done, and then the next challenge requires my team to change for whatever reason. I'm not entirely sure what the future challenges are. I'm sure they're out there. I'm sure somebody posted them and whatnot, but that's what I'm doing. I'm closing in on the Pepe Alazar, and of course I will almost certainly be exchanging the Pepe Alazar for Albert Pujols, but like I said, it could be very long before I get that. 1, the challenges are tough, and 2, I'll be playing Madden very soon, so that'll take up some of my time. Now onto the bullpen, that is, and you guys can kind of see I have Dellin Betances in there as my best quote-unquote relief pitcher, not closer, that is. And then I have guys like Carter Capps, Fergie Jenkins, and I think Tony Watson is here, although he might be a closer specifically. So yeah, I think he's a closer. So you guys can see that's kind of how my bullpen shakes out. I have a bunch of not that amazing pitchers like Watson, Capps, Fergie Jenkins. Also, might I add, this Fergie Jenkins is absolute nasty. His stuff is crazy. And also, you guys can see I have Kelvin Herrera. So basically 4 guys, either silver or below. And you'd think that's kind of odd considering my team is so good and I have a lot of stubs and I have a lot of great players. But that is honestly just to keep the rating mod down. I like those players enough to the point where I trust them in a game online that I can pitch with them, and I don't need to worry too much about their kind of perceived lack of statistics compared to other guys. Like, yeah, I could have, let's say, Francisco Rodriguez instead of Kelvin Herrera because they're kind of similar pitchers, I guess. They throw hard and whatnot. But I like Kelvin enough that I'd rather keep my rating mod down than put Francisco in there. And of course, I could do it, but I just prefer having a lower rating mod than having like a completely 100% stacked team out on the field. So then of course I have Felipe Rivera. The dude's just nasty, throws 100, wipeout slider, absolutely dirty in the ticket store if you want to get him. And then of course Aroldis Chapman. I mean, he's got to be my favorite reliever in the entire game. His stuff is just crazy. The 102 mile an hour fastball with the 88 mile an hour changeup, It's absolutely brutal, and I don't care how much you sit on fastballs, it's tough to hit Chapman regardless. As long as you're hitting your spots, you should be good to go with him. Of course, it kind of kills me to not have Craig Kimbrell in there, but the fact that he does not have a changeup absolutely kills it for me, and obviously he shouldn't have a changeup. He doesn't throw it in real life, but it's so hard to pitch with him against a left-handed hitter that I just don't have him in my bullpen, whereas I trust guys like Herrera, guys like Betances, guys like Carter Capps and Fergie Jenkins, because they have some different off-speed stuff instead of basically more or less the two-pitch combination that a guy like Kimbrell has. So that is the bullpen. Moving over to catcher here, and we have Jorge Posada starting. And like I said, this could change basically from like hour to hour, day to day. But mostly my starters are going to be either Jorge, Gary Sanchez, the 92 overall, or the 92 overall Jonathan Lucroy. Not a huge fan of Lucroy, more of a kind of a contact guy, so I haven't used him too much. But Gary Sanchez and Jorge kind of swap off and on, which is funny because I am a big Red Sox fan, and of course my two catchers mainly are both Yankees, of course. So moving on to first base, I don't really use any of these guys, and it kind of sucks. I would love to use Joey Votto a little bit more, and he's a great player, don't get me wrong. His stats are crazy, although I do honestly think his stats could go up. He is a nasty player in real life, of course, but his speed kind of kills it, and he doesn't really do anything particularly amazing. Obviously, he hits righties really well, but he hasn't been like absurdly good for me, so I kind of haven't really used him too much. Everybody else, I mean, V-Mart, I kind of use at catcher a little bit. The Adrian Gonzalez is good, but he cannot hit for power against lefties. So just stuff like that. I mean, little things. Like I said, it changes from day to day. Maybe one time I want to use a Joey Votto, so I'll toss him in. But of course, not right now. Now, my first baseman right now is actually going to be Miguel Cabrera. He moved over to first base, the 99 overall Miggy. His stats are absolutely insane. Unfortunately, I'm not that great with him, if you guys can see. I have, what, a 271 average, 5 homers, 23 RBIs, 277 on base. So really haven't been that great with him, but his stats are just so good that I just want to keep trying him out and see if I can get him to work. You guys can see, of course, Wade Boggs is our third baseman right now. This absolutely changes all the time. I've used literally all these guys lately, except for probably Buddy Bell, just because I used him so much at the beginning of the game. David Wright, absolute monster. I've said the whole year he's my favorite card in the entire game, at least so far this year. Edgar Martinez, absolute beast as well. Usually try to put him at first, so his lack of defense is kind of hidden a little bit. Josh Donaldson, also a great card. I've hit really well with him, despite the fact that his hitting stats aren't like that amazing. Obviously the power is good, but the contact and the vision really not quite there. But I hit really well with him, so I'll take it. And then Manny Machado, just a fun card to use. Great defense, obviously, and solid hitting. Fun card in general. Now let's go back to second base that we kind of skipped over real quick. And we have a ton of amazing second basemen. You guys can see all 8 that you guys can see right here are all diamonds. And the next one's Harold Reynolds, so we don't need to worry about that. But you guys can see Jackie Robinson, 99 overall, absolute stud. Amazing contact and vision, solid power, can also play first. The reason he's not in my lineup right now is basically because I used him like ever since I got him probably 2-3 weeks ago, and I needed a little bit of a break. So he'd normally be either my second or first baseman, of course, but I kind of just wanted to try out this Chase Utley. That's why he's in the lineup at second base. Pretty solid card, nothing too crazy, but I've hit pretty well with him. Hit a couple home runs so far online, so let's see what my stats are. Yeah, 414 average with 5 home runs, 433 on base. Obviously a small sample size, but I've hit pretty well with him. And then Ryan Sandberg, actually a great card as well. I was concerned when the card first came out that he would not be able to hit lefties at all, and he clearly is worse against them, but he's not really that bad, and definitely a suitable card to use. And then Jose Altuve, I mean, what else can you say? This guy's an absolute beast as well. Didn't love him in the beginning of the game because I thought his strike zone was like a little bit too small, and you couldn't even find a spot to swing at the ball. That's kind of weird. You kind of have to use him to know what I'm talking about just because he's so short. But I found that he's a great hitter, obviously. I mean, he should be. And I've done pretty well with him as well. So he gets thrown in. Ben Zobrist is on our bench literally because he can play every single position except for catcher. That's amazing in terms of flexibility on the bases, things like that. He also has okay speed. He can hit lefties pretty well. Just an absolutely amazing bench card to have on your team. Highly recommend that one. Now at shortstop, this is kind of where I can't really do much to change around my team when I want to mix it up. I have Cal Ripken in there right now. He's clearly my best shortstop. Amazing hitter, okay speed, great fielding as well. Then we have guys like Ozzie Smith, who I got from a Player Epic, who really is nothing special. I mean, he's fast and can hit righties, but has no power. Then we have Omar Vizquel, kind of the same deal. Good contact, good speed, no power. And then Hanley Ramirez is a solid card, but his fielding is so bad, and I hate putting a card like that at short or even third base. So it's tough for me to play Hanley out there, although I do every once in a while. He's pretty good. Also, I should say, Barry Larkin, great against lefties. Anybody else, not too much. He's a bench guy that I would kind of throw in every once in a while. Now over to left field, and honestly, none of these guys are in my lineup right now. I do use Lou Brock every once in a while for the speed factor. I mean, his speed is absolutely insane. Other than that, though, nobody in these really touches my lineup almost ever. In center field, we have the big guns, of course, and we have Mike Trout, who is, in my opinion, at least the best card in the entire game. Obviously, there are, I mean, Pepe Alzar, you guys could say he's clearly better and whatnot, but in terms of players that are pretty much attainable, Mike Trout is absolutely the best. Obviously, his price reflects that, over 450,000 stubs at the moment, I believe. Hitting is amazing. Speed is amazing. Let's just check out his stats real quick for me. 500 plate appearances, almost 500 at-bats, 432 average with 63 homers. Obviously, a lot of this is accrued through, versus CPU games and stuff, but even online, I don't even know if there is like a distinction. I don't think there is, but even online, I hit amazingly with him. I actually don't have the Ken Griffey in my lineup right now, and that's honestly because I don't really hit that well with him. I mean, it's kind of unfortunate. I do love the card. It was awesome to get. I think it looks really cool as well, but I just don't hit that well with him, so I swap him in every once in a while, like I said with other cards, but as of right now, he's not in the lineup. Matt Kemp is playing left field, I believe, for me. Hitting stats are amazing. This is a card that I kind of went out and got that you needed a bunch of those, I want to say it was the Stars and Stripes collectibles or something. I can't remember exactly what it was to get this Matt Kemp, but spent a lot on him, probably over 100K, and cool card. I just always like Matt Kemp, fun guy to use. And then we have Curtis Granderson and Lorenzo Cain off the bench. Those two guys are literally there to hit the opposite-handed pitcher, so Curtis Granderson obviously there to hit against righties, and Lorenzo Cain is there to hit against lefties. And also, either one could be used as a pinch runner, but I'd much rather use them, in a pinch hitting role instead. I don't think anybody else is there. Yeah, I mean, we have guys like Johnny Damon, Steve Finley that's occasionally hit the field, but generally not. And then right field, we have a bunch of amazing players like Mookie Betts, Ted Williams, Reggie Jackson, Joe Carter, all really good. Mookie and Ted frequently hit the lineup every once in a while, but Giancarlo Stanton is in there right now, literally because he's on such a crazy run in real life that I kind of needed to just throw him in my lineup. I love Stanton. He's one of my favorite players that's not on the Red Sox, and he just mashes. I mean, the card is definitely not the best right fielder I have or the best outfielder or anything, but he's an amazing player and does some crazy stuff in real life. So without further ado, let's check out the lineup. This is what I'm rocking with right now. Let me know what you guys think, and of course, if you guys have anybody that's in my binder that you think should be in the lineup, let me know, and let me know where you'd put him in to the lineup. We got Mike Trout leading off. That is purely to get him the most at-bats possible because, like I said, I personally think he's the best card in the game. Wade Boggs right behind him. Great contact guy, solid power. Stanton is there. I might flop him with like Miggy or something, but Stanton he hits bombs. That's what he does. Chase Utley is in the 5-hole. That's literally to make sure that Cal Ripken can protect somebody, protect the lefty, that is. If they bring in a lefty to face Chase Utley, let's say Cal Ripken, look at his stats against lefties, 98, 99. So you really can't beat that. Definitely want to face lefties if I can with Cal Ripken. Then we have Kemp and, of course, Jorge Posada rounding it out. I'm open to all suggestions on almost any of this, except for really Posada / Gary Sanchez / whoever else my catcher would be. They're almost certainly going to hit 8th, and at highest, they'll probably hit 7th. I don't have a good enough catcher yet. Until I get that Joe Mauer, I really don't have a great enough catcher to hit anywhere higher than 8th. But that is the team update. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, please leave a like down below and let me know what you think of it. Let me know what you think of my lineup and what I should change around. But thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you later.